Alright, well today is the big day for the electrical upgrade. So here's one last look of the old wiring. You can see it's all frayed there and it's all taped up. And there was this loop of wire sticking out of the ground and I decided to start digging to see what it was. I think it's the old ground wire for the circuit panel that they simply disconnected. Let's go inside. That is what we're left with in the existing meter box. There's 7 20 amp circuits that I care about, basically, that I want reconnected in the new box. And there's two 220 amp services that I don't care as much about that are in there. Here is the mapping that I came up with of what I want, of what the existing panel box has and what the new panel box should have. Here's the old, and this is the new. My electrician told me that in their 25 years of doing estimates, they've never seen a customer who mapped out exactly what they wanted and where they wanted the breaker locations. So, as you've probably seen in the prior videos, I restrung the air conditioner line through the ceiling. Goes up along here, goes across, and then it goes down. And continues to the air conditioner. And before, this was just strapped to the bottom of the joists, which was not to code, so that's why I fixed that. And this line hanging down here is for the smoke alarms. And that also is going through the joists like it should. And then it goes over to, that's where the first smoke alarm goes. So we're just waiting for the electrician to arrive. They said anywhere between 8 o'clock and noon. It is currently 8:30, and I was kind of, they basically said to expect them right at 8 o'clock. So, because they said it's going to be a job that takes all day. So we'll see how things go, but this is where we're at. All right, everyone. So we have an update on the electrical. It's all set. The electrician showed up around 9 this morning, and it is, I think, a little after 4 if I recall correctly. My watch just died, so here's what we got. New service entrance. So there was a bit of a change of plan here. So what they were originally proposing, that they didn't tell me when they did the estimate, was they actually wanted to run the riser and meter on the side of the house and then in. And I didn't want anything on this side of the house, both for aesthetics and because someday I might want to put a garage on this property, and I didn't want that in the way. So they said another option was they could have wrapped the service entrance around the corner and then in. And I didn't like that either for the same reasons, aesthetics and the garage, potential garage. So they said in order to do that, they needed to put a service disconnect due to the length of where it was, where the wire is running inside the house. And that cost me an extra $1,500 to do that. But it is what I preferred, so that's what we went with. So this is what it looks like on the outside. And there's 2 ground stakes, 6 feet apart. One is somewhere in this vicinity here. It's poking up a little bit. Can't remember. Oh, there it is. I see it. Right there. And the other one is over here somewhere. I don't immediately see it, but I know it's over here. So this other piece of wire, I don't remember if I mentioned before, there was some wire coiled up in this corner here, and I had no idea what it was, and I think it might be an old ground, but that's junk. I can rip that out. So let's go inside. This is where the old panel used to be. They put some junction boxes there where they needed to extend the lines. The new service entrance comes in up there. And here is the new panel. I asked them to leave service loops up there for me, and they did. They did a lot of small things that I asked them to do that otherwise they would not have done. I had a very specific spacing and breaker location in mind. They respected that as much as reasonable, which is fine by me. But I did, again, part of the reason for the service loops is so I can change this to how I desire if I decide to bother changing it. So let's see, what else can I tell you? So new ground line comes in on the right hand side and goes along the ceiling. They use the same holes that I used for drilled for the air conditioner line. It comes across and it goes down to the meter, and they have correctly bonded around the meter. So overall, I am very happy with the job they did. And I also forgot one little detail is there is actually a service outlet next to the panel that they put in. So yeah, I'm very happy with the job they did here, and this opens up a lot more work that I can do and finalize. I just remembered a couple other things I wanted to mention about the panel is originally I had envisioned and asked them if they could set it within the stud cavity so it wouldn't stick out. And they said technically they could, but they recommended against it because given that it's a 40 space panel, they didn't feel that there'd be enough knockouts at the top to support everything. And after considering that, I realized that they were correct, because we're only about half full at the moment, and I don't know if you can see up there, but I'm sure there's other things we could do. It could have made it work, but ultimately I agreed that just in case we need the extra knockouts on the side, or give it access to the knockouts on the side at least. So, and one of the most important things about this entire project is this is now something I consider safe. Things aren't double tapped. You don't have the a 30 amp and a 40 amp dryer and stove tied together on the same breaker, even though the dryer was only a 10 gauge wire rating, and there's no way you could have run both at the same time. But that's just an example of the disaster that was in that old panel box. So this is where we're at. Thanks for watching, everyone.